Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Karens. In today's episode, Entitled Karen wants to use my wheelchair at antique store. No more lost holidays. I'm out. When fellow retail workers become the worst customers. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Entitled Karen wants to use my wheelchair at antique store. Cast, me, myself and I, Nell's old man, though he doesn't speak, Harriet Karen. My husband and I rent a display space in an antique/consignment store for our collective side hustles. I quilt and crochet. My husband sells custom die-cast cars and diorama supplies. Every few weeks we go in and restock our space. This store is very large and can be a bit of a maze, and the store has designated rest stops throughout the aisles. One is across from our space. The store does not provide mobility aids for customers, so it is a BYO policy if you need a walker or wheelchair. I'm a wheelchair user as I'm paralyzed from an L2SCI. My husband and I were at the store restocking the space. My husband had just left to take one of our totes out to our van, leaving me in our space sorting through my tote that the baby sets I make. When I hear someone huffing behind me, I didn't really pay too much attention to it, thinking that someone might have been taking a break at the rest stop. I was just finishing laying out my sets on the table in our space when the person at the rest stop decided to talk to me. Do you know if the store has wheelchairs for people to use? I look up from my task and see an elderly couple across from our space. The old man is standing next to the bench, looking kinda annoyed, while the woman has flopped on the bench in an I can't take another step kinda way. I honestly was concerned that she might have been having a medical issue as she was rather plump. Are you okay? I ask, about to tell her or her partner to use the phone above the bench to reach the staff desk for help. This store is 2% Dollar King big. Harriet exclaims. I can't walk anymore. Me, the store has a chair for medevac use. One of the employees could bring it to you if you need help leaving. Harriet, but we're not done shopping. Me, I don't think they have wheelchairs to borrow. They have had issues with rowdy kids riding mobility scooters, so they do not provide them. But if you use the phone above you, you can ask a staff member. Just dial 1 and it will connect you to the staff desk. There is a sign next to the said phone that states this. Harriet seems to be thinking about her options, so I go about my work. Nels wanders down the aisle, possibly looking for an escape route. Harriet, what about the wheelchair you're sitting in? Me, this is my personal wheelchair, it doesn't belong to the store. Harriet, can I borrow it? Me, what? Surely she's not asking to take my chair to go shopping. Harriet, I want to use the wheelchair. You're young enough that you could stand to walk for a bit. I'll bring it back. Me, ma'am, I cannot stand at all. I've been a paraplegic since I was 12. This wheelchair is not store issued. It's my personal property that cost a lot of money. If you call the staff, maybe they can let you use the medical chair, or maybe they know of one someone has in their space that you can buy. But I will not give you my chair and I cannot help you. At this point, I have rolled out of our space. I decided to head towards the vendor door and just leave. Rumor has it Harriet is still sitting on the bench waiting for someone to give her a wheelchair. She actually had the nerve to tell someone in a wheelchair to stand up and give it to her. Seriously. I understand that not everyone in a wheelchair can't stand up. My mom uses one most of the time due to issues with her back and walking, but she can stand up. But why would you assume they could and demand it for yourself because you're old and fat? The only proper way to do that is with a flourish and a loud, I command thee in the name of the Lord, get up and walk. Wow, the audacity of some people. Ugh, saw this all the time when I worked at a supermarket. The amount of customers who just thought they could yell at younger and or thinner people using the few drivable carts we had because they don't look like they need it. Wish I could have responded with what I was thinking and know it wouldn't cost me my job. For some reason, in my head, I replace mobility aids as the body part they are functioning as. Wheelchair, can I borrow you legs? Guide dog, can I pet your eyes? Service dog, can I pet your medical alert system? That's a really good way to think about it though, kinda smart way to present it to children as well so they don't grow up thinking they have the right to ask for those things like this woman did. This makes sense. There is nothing worse than someone leaning on my wheelchair. It honestly feels like they are leaning on my shoulder, not allowing me to move. Insanity and entitlement are close relatives. Not insane necessarily, but certainly extremely confident of her assumptions plus a lack of empathy. Definitely a huge sense of entitlement though. While Harriet can walk, she just doesn't want to. So obviously everyone else using a wheelchair is in the exact same situation. Oh, wow, that woman has brass cojones for demanding such a thing. I guess the thought process is you're using a wheelchair, but you're young, so obviously you don't really need it. Does that sound about right? SMDH. No more lost holidays. I'm out. Today was the day. Went into my shift with a feeling of unease today. Came into my group of friends, who I haven't seen in months, drinking away at the bar and enjoying the weekend. Made me loop on all the lost holidays, special events, and birthday days I've lost to this industry, not to mention the good friends. Today was the last time. 14 years of catering to Karens and their offspring. I'm finishing my degree come fall and never looking back. This next year will be a struggle, but at least I'll be able to hug my grandmother on Mother's Day or watch my nephews open Christmas gifts. It gets easier to work holidays if your family is shit and you have moved really far away. Hope this helps. Honestly, that's what kept me going for a while. My family is shit and no one ever questions, we sorry I'm working. But this year really put a lot into perspective. Because truth is, the family I made for myself in my new city and my now long-term partner's family aren't shit. It's made me want to give the word a try again. And if there's holiday pay involved, 2.5x rate helps a lot. Do it. This is what drove me out too. I don't care how much money I made, I was missing out on life and feeling more and more isolated by the schedule. I was miserable and resentful. It's just not worth it. Wow, this hit. I still love my job, I do. But weekends and holidays all the time didn't matter so much in my 20s, still don't hate working holidays, but I'm hitting a point where I'm so drained at my friends' baby showers on Sundays because I was working until 4 a.m. from Saturday night shift. Or, I have to plan months and months in advance to attend a wedding on a Saturday and make sure I can actually enjoy myself. I don't care about the normal weekend stuff, but yeah, the constant missing out does take a toll. I just finished my job as a floor manager that I worked at for 2 years last Thursday. Yesterday was the first Sunday I'd had at home in almost that same time. I had a nap. It was delightful. I'm starting a new job next week out of the industry that's Monday to Friday. I am so excited to finally spend weekends with my family and not have my 2 days off a week on a Wednesday and Thursday. Can't wait to watch my little cousins and nephew grow up and they'll actually remember me instead of me only seeing them at Christmas. Got a lot to look forward to and I know you will as well. Congrats to you. Even if you take a pay cut, you'll be infinitely happier. I'm so blessed working at a mom and pop. We're closed on all holidays and weekends too. They'll have to close it down to get me to leave. I've never been happier in my life than I have been working at this magical little place. I feel ya, OP. Sometimes it's honestly just not worth the cash, all the lost quality family time. I was working on the 4th of July in a resort town. Went out to watch the fireworks. Boss came out and said I had to go back in to cook the orders. Who the hell orders food during the fireworks? They can wait 10 extra minutes. Finally got out. Now I'm self-employed, I make my own hours. I'm very lucky my family consists of my sister and my partner who are both in the service industry. I spend most of my holidays working with them. When fellow retail workers become the worst customers. When I was working at TJ Maxx, I had an employee from Marshall's, was next door to us and owned by the same company, try to reach over my register to input her employee number for her discount. I told her not to reach over my register. That is not allowed. She was shocked. I work for the same company. So? You don't reach over the counter to get access to the cash register. That same woman was trying to tell me which buttons to push for her discount. I had to explain to her that yes, TJ Maxx and Marshall's are sister companies, but not the same companies, and our registers are not the same as hers. She kept trying to muscle me into doing what she wanted. My assistant manager had been watching the entire interaction. After the weirdo left, my assistant manager told me I handled myself well. Unbeknownst to me, my management team called Marshall's and told them what she had done. She got written up. She came into the store the next day and raised all kinds of hell with me and told my manager I was sitting in my car smoking a joint on my lunch break. My manager blew her off because I didn't have a car and didn't work enough hours that shift to get a lunch. She continued messing with me, but the thing that got her fired was theft, not harassment. I also discovered when I worked for Starbucks that baristas were the queen of the Karens when it came to making their complicated drinks and would get a little attitude, becoming the customers they would be *tch about so much. Ugh, I used to say you could tell when someone worked retail, and this is mostly true. However, there is always that one with an exceptionally annoying voice. I used to work here, cool. Then you should know we don't have stock in the back or whatever else you think I should do as an exception for you. We had one former barista who came in one morning asking for a hazelnut latte. I told her that had been discontinued. She tried the "I used to work for Starbucks" card. When she wasn't getting her way, there was no way she was getting her way. We didn't have a magical unicorn dispensing discontinued products, but she persisted. She started telling customers in line how to hack their orders. She pissed me off so badly. She ordered a fat-free latte. She got full fat and decaf. I didn't do that very often, but I never saw her again. I call OT retail on retail crime. Be nice to your retail partners. They go through the same crap that you do. OMG, I just quit TJ Maxx after a year and I rang this customer up and she suddenly started spouting numbers and I was like, we don't have a phone number system here. And she was like, it's my discount number. I work at Home Goods. Okay? Start with that? She should know you can only recite numbers at her own store. You need to have your card if you're shopping outside your home store. She would have gotten a big fat no from my store. People who used to, or currently, work in retail are either the best, most understanding customers ever, or the worst, most entitled and demanding assholes ever. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.